Good. Just getting off the field. Beautiful day. Getting ready to play another game, which is a blessing. So with that, I'll just open it up.
Let's go first to Tyrann Mathieu. Go ahead, Tyrann.
Coach, I know we've talked about the pass rush a number of times. Sorry, I'll put my video on.
There you go. Yeah, now I can see you.
Yeah. I know we've talked about the pass rush. I'm just curious, and your kind of feel for when you blitz. Well, what's your feeling as far as moving guys around along the line, right? As the balancing act between where they're comfortable versus maybe trying to get a matchup where you think you've got a bigger advantage, whether that's moving Frank up and down or moving Chris up and down.
Yeah.
What's your overall philosophy?
Well, we look at that every week as far as a matchup. I mean, we begin there, Brendan and myself, and if we feel like we got one, we try to move guys around. We do that all the time. And then we have a call where we let those guys decide that on their own. So we give them a little bit of freedom, but it's talked about every week. There are some calls that we have where, it's based on the formation strength, so it doesn't have anything to do with anybody lining up in a particular spot. But we do that, yeah.
Go next to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Sam.
We haven't talked a lot about Anthony Hitchens this year, but it seems like he's quietly kind of producing his best football for you guys. What have you seen from him from year one to year two in this system?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked about Hitch. I mean, to me, he's the glue. And you don't have the luxury of seeing the guys like I do and seeing the interaction and the little things that he does. He does a lot of, I showed one this morning from yesterday's practice that I actually made the point that we all should feel fortunate that we have Hitch as a Mike linebacker, because he does a lot of things before the ball snapped and he helps everybody else play better. I'm sure glad we got him. I think he's playing some really good football. He's always has played aggressive. He always has tackled with, physically. And I think he brings that to the game. I think all of us, I'm talking about players and coaches, appreciate what he does.
Just as a follow, can you kind of expand on what you mean when you said you showed a clip of what he was doing yesterday?
Yeah, it was just a communication thing. I mean, look, we did something where the offense moved and motioned and he had to change a lineman, and then he had to turn to the secondary and let them know, something we were doing coverage wise and get acknowledged from the safety, all the things that go on before the ball snapped. And I think he's as good as I've had in doing all that. And I've been lucky enough to be around some really good ones, but you need that in any defense. The guy in the middle, it's like the quarterback on an offense, right? The guy that can control things and everybody feels real comfortable with how they're doing it, makes everybody play a lot faster. I believe that. And I think we're very fortunate in who we have. I can't say enough about him, to be honest with you.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Steve. A follow-up on Hitchens. Do you have any other stories that sort of illustrate what you're talking about with him?
Yeah. Well, I give you this one. And this is a credit to Hitch, and this is more as a person than as a player. Hitch strikes me. He's one of those guys that can, I think, go in any setting and get along with anybody. He's that kind of person. I used to sit. The buses are different now, the way we travel, because we travel a lot more buses and we're all spread out. But I used to sit right in front of Hitch on the bus, and right next to him was Chris Jones. And I used to listen to those two guys interact all the time. And Chris can go, and he likes getting on people, and he's funny. But Hitch can handle anything. Like, he's calm and peaceful, and he doesn't let anything rattle him. And look, when you're in charge, you're a leader of any unit, offensive or defensively, and you can let things roll off your back and just be solid as a rock. I think that's a great quality to have in the position that he plays.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Coach, what has L'Jarius's comfort in the box and in the slot meant for Tyrann Mathieu as far as the freedom to use him in a lot of different ways and his surge here in the past two games?
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. Listen, Rashad Fenton was doing a good job in there too. We just felt like L'Jarius could do some things that we needed. It freed up Tyrann from having to be that nickel spot. All those times we were moving Tyrann around, it was really a credit to him that he could play all those positions mentally. Now I think he can settle in at a couple of spots. We still move him around. I think that makes us all better. Now we're still living through some growing pains with L'Jarius playing the nickel, but we knew that, and hopefully we can get ourselves ready to, as each game goes, that we can get better and better.
Got time for a couple more guys. We'll go Nate and then Herbie. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Steve, I want to build off that question from Pete. You mentioned Rashad Fenton. It seems like you got the 4 core cornerbacks in your system right now. Obviously, Rashad and Travaris on the outside. So what do you like about the combination of some snaps going to Rashad in the middle and some of them going to L'Jarius, and how those two guys sort of played off of one another?
Yeah, it's helpful. Listen, what we try to do as a staff, obviously, is get the best 11 out there we can in situational football, and then try to get guys and using the talents that they have in where we put them. And we like to be able to continue to do that. At some point, be nice to get them all out there at one time. We're not probably at that point yet, but we can find our way there because those guys are doing a real good job. The other thing that Rashad's doing a really good job of special teams, and I know Dave Toll appreciates that. So we'll mix and match. We believe in doing that. And when guys can grasp what we're putting in, especially if we add on to the scheme, if they can execute it, that helps us get better.
We'll go last to Herbie Teope. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach, 2 quick questions here for you. The first one, you've obviously faced some pretty good tight ends this year, Darren Waller, Mark Andrews, Hunter Henry. What jumps out to you when you pop on the tape and some of the challenges defending against Mike Gesicki when you look at him?
Yeah, boy, he's a tall drink of water, and he can go up. He has a catch radius. I mean, that's one thing we always talk about with some of these really good tight ends is that the quarterback just puts it near him. He finds a way to catch it. And the other thing is he runs. These tight ends nowadays, I mean, we call them tight ends, but should we be calling them big wideouts? I don't know. I mean, he can run. He's nifty, and they find ways to get him the football. I think they do a good job with that.